Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the importance of scan tools. It doesn't matter what type of scan tool you have, PC based, Android based, Windows based, I guess Windows would be PC, Mac based, they all pretty much do the same. Obviously some scan tools have more features than others. Most importantly, you would want to have a scan tool that can communicate with as many modules that are in your vehicle as possible. So if you just go buy a generic OBD2 scan tool, you might only be limited to engine, ABS, and maybe transmission if you're lucky. So keep that in mind when getting a scan tool. The reason for this video, short and quick hopefully, is just to show you that just by viewing scan data you can sometimes eliminate stuff, or at least the scan data will point you in the right direction. So behind me is, let me just get rid of myself here, so you can see there is, I've already got some measuring blocks up here, 01 measuring blocks. Forget what car I was working on, doesn't really matter at this point, but I'm data logging, or just I'm looking at engine RPM, coolant temperature, short-term fuel trim, and some basic setting bits here. You can ignore those. The main one to focus on is this coolant one. Customer was complaining about intermittently the vehicle was just not running right. RPMs at idle would go up and on and down all of a sudden, and obviously check engine light would come on intermittently and go off intermittently. So I'm just going to press play and you'll see what happens here. So I'm just watching this here. As you can see by the other mouse, I'm pointing it out. The engine is running now. Here's the idle, and you would think that cooling temperature over time increases, but you can see here there was a momentary fluctuation going down. I'm increasing RPM here at this point just to circulate coolant a little quicker, because I already had my suspicion when I saw the initial response of the sensor. There you go, dropping right down to 30, 25, 20, 19, even 16 degrees Celsius, and the vehicle is obviously, or engine I should say, is pretty much halfway warm already. And here the coolant temperature starts to climb again. I'm back at idle. So every time the temperature would drop, the RPM would be affected, because fuel mixture is affecting it. It's being affected as well. It hasn't gone into closed loop yet at this point. I think it might go into closed loop in a little bit, but with the computer not seeing the correct temperature, even when it's not in closed loop, if it drops down to 20 degrees, the computer will automatically, actually I could put myself back into the picture frame here. So when the computer sees a drastic drop in temperature, it doesn't know that there's something wrong. All it knows is, hey, coolant temperature dropped, I need more fuel, so it dumps more fuel. Momentarily what happens, RPM will spike up a little bit, may even dive down a little bit if it's overfueling. So anyways, watching data blocks like this, or sensor data in the via the ECM, the live stream, can help you figure things out or point you in the right direction, provided obviously that whatever is happening is acting up while you're watching it and you're watching the correct data PIDs. So anyways, keep that in mind. Diagnosed Dan, fixed it again this time. Always. Bye bye.